Welcome back. You're still tuned into the big conversation on Dominion Television. And today's topic is a powerful one: the psychology of poverty, how money affects the mind. Now, research has shown that poverty doesn't just impact our wallets, it shapes how we think, feel, and make decisions. From survival mode to scarcity mindset, poverty influences everything from risk-taking to self-esteem. Joining us today is Dr. Lola Odeyale Ayofashida, coach, author, finance and management consultant. And I'm excited to have her on the table joining us today. Hello, Dr. Lola.
Good morning.
Good morning. Awesome to have you here today.
Thank you.
And to talk about money as well. Yeah. All these finance, wealth coaches. Okay, hopefully we're going to be a little more richer in our mindset, after having you here. But I mean, just when we were talking to you, were talking about how in Nigeria, the child of a nobody, in America, the child of a nobody can become a somebody. So often what that says to me that, there's something that's hereditary about wealth or becoming or self-esteem or confidence. Certain people who you see their children, that their parents are confident. That their parents speak to them. So is poverty or wealth mindset hereditary? Would you say? Let's start with you, Dr.
Well, I would say that sometimes we could say it is because there's what we call generational mindset or generational poverty. So it's possible, but most of the time, I think it's something that can be changed. Yes, we could have some situation where, it's passed down, that mindset is passed down to, their children. But I believe that with opportunities to learn about, the right mindset, it can actually be changed.
Exactly. Now, I mean, for the ladies, how old were you when you became aware? I'm always ashamed to say, in my 20s, oh my goodness, nobody really taught me about money or talked to me about money. For me, I was also one of those people who were just raised to, when you get married and someone's going to take care of you. It was when I became much older, I became aware that, okay, it's important for a woman to also think about money, make money, eat it. So how old were you when you became aware that, okay?
Full adult.
Full adult?
Yes, just like you. I didn't have that mindset. Money comes, money goes. My mommy, like the straw video, I can identify it.
Oh, you watched the movie, yes.
Was, single parent. All she was thinking of was just how to take care of us and everything. Myself, okay, 3 of us, because some things happened, The elderly ones, they've gone during the Buhari time, the first presidency, when head of state, when he changed money, that thing changed the dynamics, so it wrecked my mom and everything. So money, you just spend it. Me, I was just like, you are spending money. You didn't even. I was the one that used to ask her, and then she used to say, "You are my accountant." I will now start saying, "You spend this. Where is the money? What did you do with it? You did." She say, "I've used it." Like
it was just never enough.
I didn't have that opportunity until I said it once here. They said I should not mention bank. I will tell my children, the money somebody gave you, bring it here. Mommy, I've dumped the money somewhere. I cannot bring the money out until so time. I say, go and bring it. You kept money somewhere. I say, no, the way it is has been locked. Yes. I'm like, wow, I didn't know.
Wow, I mean, yeah, absolutely. What was your experience of money growing up?
Well, I got into financial literacy practically in 2015. Wow. So I was 35 before I started learning about money. But before that, which ties into your question about mindset, wealth or poverty mindset being hereditary, I think we are all exposed to the way our parents handle money. And the good part of my experience with my parents was that they were on different ends of the spectrum. My dad was what they would call in Yoruba budan. So my dad ordinarily would, when he has a lot of money, and the neighbors know.
My dad was exactly like that as well.
The neighbors know. Everybody knows he has money because we all get things we didn't ask for. But my mom, on the other hand, was a civil servant who enjoyed collecting from daddy the way everybody did. But one thing was, whatever money was in her hand was always the last. So over time, I got familiar with the last. Being a way a woman keeps the home running, even when the husband is down. Now that the last, she was raising about 7 kids, and every child could get the last from her. So whatever she's giving you is the last, and then you're watching, and then somebody else comes,
still more.
and there's still another last. And also, no matter how much daddy decides to splurge, mommy would always have some money, you know, somewhere for something. And then we found out that in the times that mattered, this civil servant had more money than the guy that had a lot of money, you know, because when you need it, she has it. He only has it when he has it, not when he needs it. And so we had to choose whose money mindset we were going to borrow. Now, I think I blended both, because when I have money, you know.
Okay.
But I always have something somewhere. Now, this did not, I wasn't trying to build wealth. I was just trying to survive.
Yes.
You know, so 2015, strolling on the streets of Twitter, I met a young woman, Bojubola Sonny. She was always tweeting about money. So I started following, and so I started reading up on Shola Adeshaki. I met a few other people, you know. I started reading after Nimi Kikube, and she actually physically introduced me to these people. We even formed a group, you know. So then I realized, okay, it's not about survival mode. It's about building wealth. It's about caring, protecting your future. And then, you know, wealth creation became a thing. You know, poverty mindset will not allow you to think too far into the future. You're just trying to get through today. And so I guess with financial literacy, and I had to rewire. You know, what I'd even picked up, you know, deciding what my money mindset will be from what my parents experienced pushed me so far. But the rewiring had to be done consciously with financial literacy, reading up, following people, you know.
How about you, Dr. Lola? Because I know you also even have a book for kids about money.
Well, I would say that when I was growing up, my mom was always saving. She believed you need to save for tomorrow, no matter how little. For her as well, she would be like, oh, I don't have so much, but I have something. So she made us understand that there was need for you to have something, you know, kept aside. And then my dad, I think I learned something from him, because I think I was about 10, 11, and he would say, I wanted to go and supervise the people building, you know, my house for me, and they would tell me a little about building, and say, make sure that they use quality to build, and then make sure that you don't deprive them of quality material and all of that. So he introduced me to, you know, what I would say the benefit of having investment, especially in real estate. However, when it comes to money, it's not as if there was any, you know, training as well, but I think I got into financial literacy, just like Jimmy said. The thing is, I met two people that actually helped me, and I also went back to say, come, it's not about just having to save and then when you need it, or real estate. There's so much around money and so much about that mindset of having a positive, you know, mindset about money. And the two men actually, you know, changed so many things, and I had to go learn from mentors, George Clarkson, Robert Kiyosaki, and so many others, just to see that I get a balance in terms of money. And that was one of the reasons why I felt children also need to be taught early about it, because those mindsets, we pick them, like she said, from our parents, and you'll just be amazed that we all grow up just living whatever we know that we feel is right.
Absolutely.
And then later with a lot of training, literacy education, and rewiring, so because that mindset is key.
How do you reconcile the nation, for example,
the economy,
the money mindset that we have, how to keep money, and how it's plunging a lot of people into poverty, and then making the recycling of poverty to continue?
Well, I want to say that when you talk about poverty mentality, there's so many things around it. Now, some people see money as evil. And because of that, they don't want to have it.
Please, can you give me an example?
So there's
people there's some people that
just believe that being rich is not godly.
That's when that money itself, it's evil.
No, but is it opulence, like unnecessary gathering of wealth you are talking of, or seeing money as if because you must eat? Money is what you put food on your table.
I'm talking about having the money, you know, having that money, having wealth. But I actually feel that it is not the money itself that is evil or the root of evil. It's actually the desire to possess it. And that's what will make people do some untold things just because they want to have money. So when people see, oh, he did this because he wanted to have money, they say, money is evil. It's not money that is evil, or it's not the root cause of
just
evil.
Expose their true
it's just that, that's just it. So that mindset is also something that affects people. Then you have people that have the mindset that there's certain people that should be wealthy or should have money.
I want rich people. Those
Yes.
rich people.
I'm coming from this
Awala
side.
danla.
Yes.
So money is not. So you see
Right.
those people, they will not see the benefits or the opportunities
Right.
that inherent in making money.
Right.
There is poverty
Right.
that has affected their psyche.
mindset,
That's
yes.
why giving them that mindset. That's why they are
Yes.
saying "Awala danla," meaning
Yes.
there's a boundary that I cannot cross.
The truth
And I'm
is,
not part of those who can enjoy
Yes.
that. Yes.
the truth is, poverty is not the lack of money. It's actually the presence of limiting beliefs.
Ooh, okay. Say
It's
that
not the
again.
lack
Say that
of
again.
money.
Poverty is not the
Limiting
lack of
beliefs.
money.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Okay.
the presence
Okay. Let
of
me take
limiting
this back. Let me bring this conversation back because I love that. I love when women talk about things like this because oftentimes, yes, men are encouraged to talk about money. When women talk about money, even when you say you like money, like how can you? You're a woman. How can you like money? Even in certain situations, people have gone to look for employment and they say, why you want to be earning 1 million? What you want to do with it? It's not. But they don't ask that of men. You know, and the thing is, a lot of us were brought up by women, moms, we did not know, were actually footing a lot of the bills.
Yeah.
So we grew up with a mindset that, oh, daddy was providing. That's why sometimes even I make sure I let my children know when I bought that. Not to boast, but to let them know that I contribute as well. So they go to the grocery store, they want to buy something, I just buy it, and I'm not waiting for daddy to do that. So and I feel that sometimes for some girls who have this waiting for a man to provide for them, do you think that's where that mindset came up? Because a lot of us are hush about letting our children know that I paid for that. You know, I also paid half of your school fees as well. It is okay, but because we're trying to shield the male ego, oftentimes we don't say, and then our children, especially girls, grow up to think, I'm just going to get married and someone's just going to foot all the bills. Is this true?
But personally, I think it should be about we. The mindset I
Yes.
would prefer to give to a child is we. That's when you can, even when you come to me, you want to ask for money or you come through me to get that money. Mommy, I want this. So you know that I want to talk to your daddy and then the money will come out. Sometimes when the dichotomy is so obvious, I don't think it's also good
Healthy.
for, there should be that, it depends on the type of home because personally it's what you give to me in marriage that will give you back. If you are trying to play, okay, we are one, we are together, but I think it's better that way. Sometimes the children, they know. If it comes from left or right, they know where the money is coming from. But that front of we are together, not all homes are.
Right.
But they know that the children know that you are struggling. They know that you come to Dominion, you are struggling every day, doing your voice like this thing. They know. They know. But that thing that this we are in it together.
Yes.
That's my own.
No, I just feel a lot of
practice,
children. While we were growing up, I just assumed my dad did everything.
Yes.
Until much later, and my mom's telling me, "Oh, okay, I didn't know." Yes,
And even a good man will channel the children to like go and appreciate your mom.
Yeah.
She has done
Yeah.
this. She has done that.
Yeah.
Well, there's the cultural bias.
Yes.
You know, in culture, the man is the head of the home, and no matter how much the woman is doing,
Right.
the man would take
yes,
credit.
credit, yeah.
And then this same way of let's keep a united front is why some women have stayed put down. In spite of the fact that they are carrying 90% of the
Yes.
weight, they will not give their children money directly. They will give it to their husband to give to their children because that's the culturally right thing to do. Now, of course, religion has also pushed this a little bit further because the religion will also tell you, I mean, there are women who make money and then hand it over to their husbands to decide how it will be spent. And so somehow, as a community, you know, we have the cultural influences and we have the religious influences. We have propagated that belief that it's the man that takes care of the home. So unless the children are hypersensitive to know
exactly.
that, okay, mommy is doing a lot. Now, for me, it became obvious, you know, from the story I've told, that when daddy is broke, the only reason we keep having food is mommy. I prefer that approach because that means there's no high, there's no low. We have a standard consistently. And the high and low that the money making, now that's what, that was the difference because with my dad, you will know when there's money, you know when there's no money. You know, but the religion and culture has pushed us not to speak up when we spend. I remember mentioning that when we're talking about marriage and culture,
Yes.
you know, I remember mentioning that my brother told me that he did not like my choice of spouse, though that was
Yes,
behind
at
the
the
scene.
time, yes.
That I didn't like my choice of spouse because he was not sure he would be able to take care of me. And my response was, okay, when did the responsibility for taking care of me become someone else's and not mine? So we can change the narrative if we let our children know that they must be responsible for their financial future.
Right.
You know, this is why so many women stay in relationships where they are battered
Abusive
because they have refused to take responsibility for their financial future. The unfortunate thing is, it doesn't matter. They might be making so much money.
Yes.
You know, they might be making a lot of money, but because they're used to their financial decisions
Yes.
and all their decisions being made by a man, what they do is they bring the money, sir, what are we going to do? And then you relegate your thinking and decision making to the man. You should know what you want to do with your life. It even starts from being single. It's not until you're married. You should know what you want to do with your life. You should set goals in relation to the kind of money you want to earn, the kind of money you want to save, the kind of money you want to invest, how you want it to come. You know, financial literacy, like she's advocating, should start from really young. I mean, what if I found out what I found out at 35?
Yes.
At 10?
Oh my goodness,
It would have
yes.
been something else.
Be
Yeah,
wealthy.
so
Yes.
poverty really has conditioned us to think a certain way, not plan beyond a certain number of days, but we can actually
Right.
change
So-
that narrative.
So the reason why some people die poor, is it because of the scarcity mindset, or just because we know we're in Nigeria where some people really toil, some people work hard, you know, but unfortunately a lot of people will die poor. A lot of women will die poor. So do you think it's as a result of the scarcity mindset, or just because, okay, in Nigeria it takes a lot of luck to, you know? Okay.
For me, I think it's the mindset, really. That word that you said, you know, some people will say, koto, the money is not enough. That's scarcity mindset.
Yes.
The truth of the matter is, if they're able to take, you know, control of their financial decision and life, you can actually even born poor and die rich and wealthy. Because the thing is, it requires a lot of discipline, it requires a lot of planning, it requires a lot of thinking about tomorrow. A lot of people have this immediate gratification mindset. Oh, I just, you know,
I get my travel holiday. Yes.
pattern, you know, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
another one will
you
come.
know, another
Don't
one
worry.
will come, you know. But you see, it's always good to balance things. And that's why, you know, that advocacy for having, you know, the right financial literacy helps. Because you have to think of tomorrow. It's very important because tomorrow will come. So why do you have to say, oh, sorry, I have everything today?
Yes.
And, you know, we have people that even tell you that wealth or money is luck. It's not luck. It can be created. You know, it's not based on luck or chance. It can actually be created, it can be determined. You know, if you keep aside something every day, what are you going to get in another 2 years? You'll be amazed. But if you say, no, please, let it come, it's a luck. It's not luck. People that
excuse me, when your salary is 40,000,
Thank you. Yes, because
you don't. Your cognitive reasoning is
how does someone come
all
out
you are
of that? It
thinking
feels like
about
you're-
is how are you going to buy the next fufu
Yes.
to make the next soup, buy bone, not even meat,
And
not
people who have kids
beef.
with that kind of salary, and how do you feed your child?
Once there is poverty, you are living below a particular line. It takes miracle or
really
somebody that
struggle.
will
It's a
have
struggle.
pity on you to pull you from that level that you are in to another level. Because if not, unless you are stealing in your office and then you are keeping the money, yes, let's be factual.
No,
Yeah.
the thing is, it takes you, not someone. It takes you to come to that realization that you want to build a financial, healthy future.
I'm an advocate
Yeah,
for
because
that.
how
The
do you
other
say
day, I was
people
saying
who-
teachers
yes.
should try and buy
Yes.
whatever and train
Yes,
themselves.
educate themselves.
But even at that, it's you
It's hard, but we
It's-
do.
it's
We
hard.
you know
Yes,
people
but
who have
you-
legally come out of poverty,
Yes.
don't you? We all know people who have legally
Yes,
come out
people-
of poverty.
yes,
I know
people do
someone.
come out
from
of it.
favor.
It's
And then
not
sometimes
all
look
the
at it when
time.
you are working in an establishment, your salary is 70,000, you are driving one badass car. Sorry, my French.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. You can put two and two together. It's just like you have a boyfriend. The boy is salary is 100,000. And you the
Yes.
girl, you are working 75,000.
Yes.
Your weave on is 1.5 million.
That's
Wait,
what
that's what we're saying.
He will know that you are doing something.
Very good. That's what
aside.
that's
So,
the mindset
you're
we are
answering the question.
saying. You're
Yes.
answering the question already, because now I'm earning 70,000.
Yes.
And I am actually
I want to buy
living
Vuitton.
to impress people that are not
Yes.
looking at me.
Yes.
You know, we have people that have that mindset
Absolutely.
of what is wealthy or expensive things is wealth or is finance or
exactly.
is success.
And that's a myth.
It's a terrible mindset that, if I don't have something worth 50 million, I'm not wealthy or I'm not successful. No. Because that is what will drive someone that is earning 70,000 to go and borrow money to buy the things he or she does not need to impress the
Maybe
people
we
that
should
are
link
looking at
it to
them.
what is happening at the national level, because all they do, they throw wealth, opulence up and down. The son of a daughter of a poor man is thinking that, how can I get to this part? And there's something flying, this file, if I doctor it like this, money will be coming.
No,
After all, they are
a matter
stealing.
of character.
That
I
one-
think that's
yeah.
a matter of character.
Yes. So
Yes,
that's not poverty.
Yes,
that's
a
character.
If you're a corrupt person, you're corrupt, whether
That
you're rich
is
or
it.
poor.
And but when the top is corrupt,
I know that's
but
the
the thing
headline.
is, that's why it's you. It's not. You don't have to wait for somebody.
Exactly.
Let's look at this analogy. Put an empty bucket under a tap and let it go a drop at a time. Just imagine.
Eventually.
And you are going to see that over time, that bucket would overflow.
No, I understand
discipline-
you perfectly well. In a country where you have saved that money and the inflation rate will come, you think that you have money in treasury bills or you have bought shares, all of a sudden that thing has gone to naught.
And some people have experienced that, to be
So
honest.
I want us to look at it from
Can
that
I
angle.
address this? Can I address this a bit? So I talk about money a lot. As a matter of fact, it's probably what I talk about the most. And I would say this, that poverty mindset is the problem.
Exactly.
So if you earn 40,000 a month, obviously by every standard, you don't earn enough.
Yes.
Now, what you end up doing when you have a scarcity mindset is hoard.
Hoard, yes.
You are hoarding money that
Keep
will not
it.
be enough for things that it will not satisfy. And so you end up not saving because it won't be enough.
Yes.
Now, the way to get out of poverty is to save. It is not enough anyway.
Because haven't you seen people who went from earning 150K to 500K, but still
They can save.
They can
Do
save.
you understand? So it is in the
discipline.
mind.
Yes.
Like she said, it is about you.
Exactly.
Now, when you're earning 40,000 naira, the first conversation you have with yourself is, how do I increase my income? Now, the unfortunate thing, I call it the evil under the sun that I've seen after Solomon's time, is that people do not even know how much they need to survive. If you don't know how much you need to survive, then you don't know what would amount to enough income for you. And when I'm saying enough to survive, I mean, how do you get to work?
Yes.
How do you eat?
Exactly.
How do you,
Those are
now, they
basic.
say data is life.
Yes.
How do you get data? Because without data, you might not even be able to communicate with the people that
Yes,
want to give you
you're
money.
right.
Now, if you know how much you need to survive, and I'm not talking about pulling people up. The person that is not eating, that wants to be feeding people in the
Exactly.
village. Hey, yeah, well done. All of you will die of starvation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Until you have the strength to carry others, you have no business carrying other
So
people.
true.
So face your study. Face your study of
Yes.
yourself, I mean.
Yes.
And find out, how much do I need to make it till my next payday?
Yes. Really need to.
Really need,
Yes.
not
Yeah,
want.
the needs.
Forget
You have
about
to need the
clothes.
self-awareness to be able to
Forget
determine
about
what need
clothes.
and
Forget
want.
about
Yes.
bolts.
Yes.
You know, if it is that you will walk, early
If
morning
you-
walk to walk.
absolutely.
30 minutes, 40. Yes.
Yes.
So
Like-
after that assessment, money, settle it in your mind once and for all. Money will never be enough.
Absolutely.
You can
Yes.
ask Dangote. He's still looking for money for refineries.
Yeah.
So the size of the head
Yes.
is the size of the headache.
Yeah.
So if it will never be enough, then save. Now I have some facts and figures that I wish we could share a schedule,
okay.
because I use schedules for my talks. Now if you save 360 naira per day and you invest it at 18%, you will get to 360 million in 36 years. Yeah, thereabout. Now, service life for a civil servant is about 35 years. So if you will get 360 million. Now I'm coming back to inflation.
Yes.
360 million
That's the
after
reality.
your service. I don't care what the rate of inflation is, you have money.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are not going to queue up in front of the pension office.
Yeah.
That's because you set aside 500 naira per day.
Yes.
Now the truth is, those who drink Coke drink 500 naira per day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Already.
Okay, in a situation where your salary does not come like until mid-month, maybe you have borrowed.
Yes.
I want us to be realistic.
Yes.
here. I
Yes.
understand what
Yes.
you are
Yes.
saying
Yes.
perfectly well. Personally, I advise people, say, we have gone to Ojioku, you are a landlord. I say you work in secretariat, get a house in Mokola,
yes.
because what you spend on transportation,
Exactly.
at the end of the day,
Will swallow the
Yes.
effect.
no
Yes.
need.
Yes.
I understand, but let's talk to
Reality.
people,
Yes.
reality.
Yes.
That 40,000 or 70,000 naira, your transportation is 29,000 naira or
Yes.
30,000 naira.
Yes.
You have 2 kids. Your conscience will be pricking you if I keep, you don't even have that money,
So
350 to keep
income streams? I
every
think that's
day.
where different
Well,
income
I
streams
think
also
that's it.
come.
You can't just say I'm only in Nigeria. You can never have it.
Yes.
That is it. So you have to first increase your source of income.
Absolutely.
It's important because the thing is, whether you like it or not, inflation will keep going up, things will keep going up. The next thing is, like she said, what do I really need this month? So if 40,000 will not be enough for me, then what can I do to get more?
You know,
and then
what
what
I'm
are the
getting at,
areas?
this topic is really for the national government.
No, it's
Then
also
it's
for
for us.
If
It's
they
for
don't
us.
leave your destiny in
If
the hands
they
of
don't
government,
change,
yes,
we
there are
will
people
change.
who without
Do you know
government
that
have
we
been able to
have
make-
people?
Yes.
I love what you just said. There's another mindset that is so terrible that somebody else is responsible for my financial life.
Okay, you know what? I'm here. Let us take a break. Let us take a break. It's clear, obviously, that poverty is more than a lack of money. It's a psychological
Yeah.
trap that's harder to break than most realize, as you can see from our conversation. But is there a way out? Up next is our life hack of the day. Practical tips to help you save better and think clearer, even when funds are light. So stay with us. We'll be right back. This is why people don't talk about money at the dinner table. They say it's bad etiquette to talk about money, but it is so important. It's such an important conversation to constantly have, especially with women, because men always find a way to talk about money, but women find a way to talk about what they can buy with money. So that's why this conversation is important. I love all of the fantastic, realistic angles that, you know, Barrister Toju is throwing in. It's lovely because that's the reality of a lot of people out there. You know, they're earning, your money is just never enough. But we're about to play our agree or disagree game, Dr. Lola. So we've got this card. And it says agree, and it says disagree. So I'm going to pop a question on the screen. You let us know if you agree or disagree. Let's hope you're not in the middle. All right, our question for today is, you cannot escape poverty unless someone helps you out. You cannot escape poverty unless someone helps you out. Are you thinking about it? Okay, you disagree. What do you disagree? You disagree? Really? Am I do what happened? Okay, well, hey, we're here to learn, aren't we? All right, Dr. Lola.
I disagree because it has to do with you as a person. The truth of the matter is, you make that decision to come out of poverty. You know, there's something in psychology we call, you know, dialectic, you know, therapy. You first have to admit that there is a problem,
Right.
before you can seek for help. If you don't admit it, even if help is flying everywhere, you will not. So if somebody comes and keeps giving you fish, the day you come to say, no, I don't want you to continue to give me fish, teach me how to fish, then that is why I would disagree.
Okay.
It's you.
But I agree, because even if it's in that teaching, that learning, you have to learn from someone. You know, I feel like if you don't learn, and that's what happened to a lot of us. Nobody taught us. We just assumed that money will come. You finish university, you will get a job, and you just become wealthy.
What
So
if you
I
choose
feel
not
that
to-
someone
What if you choose not to learn?
What if you choose not to learn? Yeah, I know it all boils down to, you know, but I just feel like someone, and I think maybe this is me throwing out the challenge to everybody, because now I also wrote a book called Lara's Lessons, and there's a chapter there that talks about a lesson about money, because I'm also, you know, intent on ensuring young people, especially young girls, you know that money just doesn't come. You know, so I believe that, you know, if nobody helps you, we're all just going to be wandering in the dark. But I told you, you disagree. Why?
Yes, I disagree.
Okay.
Because you don't need anybody to help you. It's what you carry inside of you. Like we are talking about leaving point A, one floor to another floor. To know that, because you can be put in a school and you decide not to do anything and you won't do well. You come out with a pass or whatever, a certificate that you cannot even use, or you just go through school. But if you are determined, you are something has been instilled into you to strive for more.
Right.
You surely know that, okay, oh, it's not, you don't need anybody to pull you.
Really?
They say heaven help those who help themselves.
It's not in the Bible. But go on.
I disagree because no matter how much help someone provides to you, you are in charge of your destiny. So this just typical example, the person who wins the lottery hardly ever comes out with anything meaningful. So no matter how much help you're provided with, unless you have decided to move out of poverty, you will forever live there. And then we've already established that there's a mindset attached to it. Your mindset will grind whatever it is that is given to you back into poverty.
Right.
So it's all about you. It falls on your shoulder. You have to take responsibility for your financial future to get out of poverty.
You stretch
Yes.
and claim different, a new
Right.
territory.
Now let's look at
every
this.
time.
We have this new hustle culture now. I don't know, is it sort of poverty with PR that did poverty? This hustle culture that we have where everybody, because we've talked about multiple sources of income, but I know people who have multiple sources of income but still are poor, but still don't have enough. So everybody's they hustle. I'm doing importing and exporting, backward and forwarding. I'm doing hair. I know people who are doing social media management, plus that they work a 9 to 5, and then but still there. So this hustle culture, do you think is part of the poverty mindset, and is it just poverty wearing a different jacket?
Well, I would say that yes, it's good to have multiple sources of income, but
That doesn't guarantee.
Yes, it does not. What exactly do they have at the back of their mind? A lot of people, like say, will spend before saving because they are just all about now. They're not thinking of tomorrow. So there are some things you must have, financial habits you must have that will help you to come out of that poverty mindset. Making so much money is not enough. What is important is what do you use that money that you make for? How do you manage it? How do you now think of multiplying it? Because if you make so much money and you are reckless in spending, you make so much money, you don't budget, you make so much money, you just leave, you don't even know, you're just spending on things that you don't even need. You just want to show off. Then at the end of the day, you're back to square one. But if you are making the money as much as you're making it, and there's some habits that you have, like savings, like budgeting, like not spending more than you earn, ensuring you're thinking of tomorrow, long-term thinking, and delayed gratification, so many of those things, then you see that over time you will build and come out of that poverty.
I mean, this is on the aside, but I know a woman who prays that her husband is never wealthy because she said that if he ever gets money, he's going to obviously cheat. Do you think who has the poverty mindset between?
She's the one that have low self-esteem.
Yeah, it's the woman.
Low self-esteem.
Because I mean, she said she prays her husband never gets rich because she knows that once he gets rich,
so she's the one that has the
carry
problem.
women.
She's the one that has the problem.
And him obviously married the wrong person. Because
Yeah.
women
And
are
that means
supposed to be
she
pushing
also has
and
that same
bolstering.
tendency. That means if she also has money, she's more likely to cheat.
Absolutely.
Now,
Yeah.
talking about the hustle mentality,
Yeah.
I believe we touched on it when we talked on
Yes,
Jack
yes.
of all trades. But one thing I do, now this is for business training, not finance training, is tell you to maximize your income.
Right.
Before you get another stream. So many people, what they're doing is that jack of all trade things. They are not a master of anything. You are not earning the most you can on any of your endeavors.
Right.
You're just skipping from one thing to another. You are not making a name for yourself in one thing and earning the most you can from that thing before earning from the others. So what would happen is you would make least effort, least income on several things and not be able to hit your mark. So before you get into another stream of income, before you start up another business, before you launch another product, make sure that you have made the most you can from what you know to do. It's not about putting 300 sticks in the fire. It's about getting the furnace hot enough to boil the things you're cooking.
That's a great strategy. But for women who want to marry rich, is that a good strategy as well, would you say?
Who want to?
Marry rich. That's their strategy to becoming wealthy.
Well, what if your name is not in the will and he dies after 30 seconds?
As in, wealth is not sexually transmitted. Someone said wealth is not sexually transferable, is what somebody said. But I know a lot of girls who that's their strategy to gain wealth. I will marry rich, and hopefully from being able to. And I know a lot of women who are married to wealthy people who are still poor because maybe they just get a little handout.
Yes.
They're not able to do much of it. So this is
Then you can end up in a golden cage. You follow the money into the cage. Then you now find out
You are
the real
trapped.
person. Yes. that man, he will tell you, just sit down, it's money you want. Even he's not a fool, he knows that you came for his money.
Right.
And he feels that if you see money that is more than his own outside, you will jump. So he wants to put you in a cage.
Right,
So
right.
Barbie doll, remain in the golden cage.
I like that. Okay, we've got our wise words on the web today, and our wise words today say, poverty is a cruel disease, but curable with intelligence and hard work. Dinesh Thakur, hard work. I know a lot of hardworking people who are still,
It's smart
it's
work
working smart and not working hard. All right, so well, share this video to anybody you know, all right, because this is such an important conversation to have. You know, there's so much poverty out there, and I get, you know, the economy doesn't make it easy, but, you know, you can't get out of that poverty. Get out of that poverty mindset, and I think the rest will follow. Ooh, what a poverty discussion.
on Democracy Day.
Exactly, on democracy. No, that was a powerful what a powerful discussion we just had today. We've learned that poverty is not just economic. It's emotional, mental, and even generational. But with awareness and support, we can rewrite the narrative. You can rewrite the narrative. Your parents may be poor, but doesn't mean you need to end up being poor as well. You can change your narrative. All right, thank you to our incredible panel and our fantastic guest, Dr. Lola. Thank you so much for coming. And our listener and our viewers, thank you so much. Make sure to share this video. Let's keep this conversation going on social media using the hashtag TBCGang, because we love you guys. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay informed. It has been an amazing edition of The Big Conversation.